in my house all the time when I look at the news and I watch, people who are well respected like Oprah stand up and, advocate for the weight loss drugs. I feel like the weight loss drugs, although they are helping a lot of people temporarily, it's like the elephant in the frickin' room is that we're not talking about what our food supply did to create this obesity problem. And then if we bring it down to the person level, it's like, okay, if you're just struggling to lose weight, if you're just finding yourself hungry all the time, take your 2-week challenge. Try getting off the seed oils, buy your book, follow the 2-week challenge, and then go and see how your hunger changes. And to me, that's giving the person the power back. And I'm just really grateful that you are fighting such an uphill battle, because I know that the food industry probably has your name as a target. And
yeah, I wonder sometimes.
yeah, is not very excited about books like this, because there is a huge profit in keeping us overweight, sick, medicated, and coming back for more. It
And
really
Mindy,
is so
since
sad.
since your audience is concerned about GLP-1, whether they should take them, whether they will help them. Part of chapter 4, I explain exactly how they work and why they help. And so that you can understand that, yes, so sure, maybe they can be like a temporary thing that helps you at least be less hungry so you can adapt some of these changes. But then, you won't be able to get off and stay off
Yeah.
unless you adapt some of these changes. I use the drugs. They've been around for decades as diabetes treatments.
Yeah.
And what everybody said was, you know, they were disappointed that it didn't really help their sugars that much, but boy, they were able to eat less. And it helped their blood sugars exactly as much as it helped them eat less of the foods that were raising their blood sugars. And it just took, the pharmaceutical company a few years for that to dawn on them, and that's what was going on, that they're just
Yeah.
an appetite suppressant. They're just an appetite suppressant that is not like the other appetite suppressants, which made people jittery and elevated their stress hormones and their adrenaline and caused arrhythmias and caused them to sweat and all kinds of horrible digestive side effects. This is a appetite suppressant that our body normally makes, and that
Yeah.
actually it does make. It's just that it doesn't make 1,000 times the normal amount. But when you inject yourself with a GLP-1, make no mistake, you are injecting yourself with 1,000 to 10,000 times the normal amount of GLP-1 in your body's system.
Right. It's not, now you've put yourself
It's
in an
not
abnormal
natural.
situation. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
like,
it
yeah.
is hardly natural.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they don't help some people, because some people are just metabolically damaged or have like relationships with food that are really deeply deep-seated and makes it very difficult. They have food noise. I don't know if you ran across that term, but that's what people told me when I was using it for diabetes medication. They would say it calmed the food noise.
Yeah. No, a
And
lot. I've had a lot of people tell me like I can think about other things, which
yeah.
so it's like such a double-edged sword, because you're like, it's a miracle for so many people, but we are still not having the right discussion around it, which is, how did we end up in this place?
Right.
And I want to go back to how we started this. I think your insulin resistance is causing a deficit of energy in the brain, so you start to crave more, is brilliant. And I hope that people are really motivated to, if nothing else, get the oils out so your hunger changes. And I think that's incredible. So
yes,
yeah.
absolutely. That is, I think that's the key. That was a lot of what drove me to write this book, was to help people understand what I call it the Dr. Cate's energy model of insulin resistance, because it's
Beautiful.
a new idea. Like
great.
right now, there's no explanation. The American Diabetes Association says we don't know what causes type 2 diabetes. It's a mixture. Who knows? It's genetics. It's the lack of exercise. It's being overweight. Oh no, now it's the microbiome again. There, can't forget that. It's the toxins, right? It's all these things. Mishmash of confusion. We don't know. We don't want to know. Right? Because we like things the way they are. So this is a new idea. Now, the other idea that came along that made sense even to me for a while was insulin, the insulin carbohydrate model proposed by folks like Gary Taubes and Jason Fung. And I don't know if you've had any of them on your podcast, but those folks talk about the carbohydrate model of insulin resistance where it's driven by insulin. But that's why that is wrong. I mean, that was a better idea than what the American Diabetes Association says, which is just give up. It's hopeless. Take our drugs. That at least gave people, oh, okay, I can cut out all my carbs and then I won't be producing this insulin, which is a hormone that has somehow become toxic in my body. And I'm saying that, does so somewhat sarcastically as because it is a stupid idea. Insulin is not a toxin. It's a hormone. And your body is producing insulin when you're type 2 diabetic, is producing a lot of insulin because you're insulin resistant. And the carbohydrate model does not explain how we got into that insulin resistant state or why are we, all obese now, because how it does not draw those connections. It cannot explain it. So it's the energy model of insulin resistance. I want that phrase to be out there now because it helps people understand energy in their brain. And that is the key to resolving all metabolic disease. Getting their brain that energy. And I show you how in Dark Calories.
I love that.